Okay, welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you are here for the first time, just click the subscribe button. So each week I'll be sharing with you on some of the tricks and tips on how to improve your business, especially. And normally I'll be sharing more about digital marketing because that is where I'm working on right now because I run a digital marketing service. But for today, it's very privileged that I actually have Dee joining us. It's been a while since I actually wanted to interview him because of his successes, and how he actually presents himself. So a bit of background of D. From what I know, because it actually surprised me this morning that he actually has another backstory. And from what I see, he is that I think he was born in Philippines. He's pure Chinese, but he actually went to the States at a very young age. But from what I know is that somehow he actually ended up in China to set up a very successful business that doesn't need him to operate at all. Because in Malaysia we actually had lockdown, so he didn't manage to go back to China at all, right? For close about a year, but the business is still running. And on top of that, also he's actually a very successful leadership coach that he's been doing coaching, performance coaching, leadership coaching for the past about 16 years, helping entrepreneurs, helping even employees or even top leaders in corporate to actually help them excel and break through using some of his guidance and coaching. So yeah, that's all from my side. Maybe if you have anything to add on, just feel free. Over to you, Dee. Maybe you just tell us a bit about your background and how how you actually got to where you are today.
Hi, thank you, Rogers. First of all, thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be here and to see you again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things happens when we were younger, whether they're good or bad, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of times we use those as reference points to how we make decisions as we get older. In my case, I got lucky when I was young. Okay, and because I got lucky, when the business started going bad, I wasn't prepared for it. I got complacent and I didn't want to improve myself, right? So I said, wow, it's like going gambling, right? The first time you go gambling and you win, you go, hey, wow, this is easy, right? So next time if I need rent money, all I have to do is just go there and then play a couple of hands and I'll get my lunch money, right? But or my rent money. But I'm sorry, that doesn't work, and we know the odds are always against us. So there's a saying that I learned that if it has to be, it's up to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So by starting that, I had to start improving myself. I had to make better decisions. All right. Whether to grow myself personally, grow myself in my career. And I realized that it's all up to me. It has to be up to me. And the thing is, yeah, we could read a lot of books. We can attend a lot of courses, whatever courses they may be, but we have to understand, right? They don't work. And when I say they don't work, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. People work.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Unless we actually execute, we apply those things that we learned, it won't work. And sometimes we maybe from a mindset of, wow, what if it doesn't come out right? Or maybe like, okay, what if it looks ugly? Or maybe what if I fail or whatever? And then we have all these past judgment on ourselves, and it doesn't help, right? It doesn't help. And we can motivate. We can say, we got to do this. We got to do this. And you can tell yourself the worst story there is of what's going to happen if it doesn't work, right? But if our mindset is not right, it doesn't matter. Okay. It's just like listening to people trying to lose weight, right? Or people who make New Year's resolutions. Right? We all say it, we're all motivated, or even when we do training, right? When companies do training, probably the first week, the people are very motivated, they're excited, they're ready to get back to work, right? And then after a week, maybe a month later, it's back to the same thing. Okay, so unless we understand that motivation is just part of it, right? If you have a dream strong enough, you will be motivated. And if there are times when you might be tired, that's when discipline has to come in.
Yep. I
Right?
think there is actually
So,
a saying that motivation is like taking shower every day, but inspiration on the other hand is actually something from within, like, you know, something that is burning desire that comes from within to out, you know, because we need to shower every day. So motivation is like, you know, taking shower every day that doesn't really last.
well, yeah, exactly. It's almost the same point, right? My point would be is more like discipline precedes motivation, right? And so, you know, we have to have the mindset that what should we do first? You know, once you learn how to do it, you just have to do it, right? And not think about, well, what if I get it wrong? Unless you do it, you don't know if you're going to get it wrong or right. And unless you get it wrong, you won't learn,
Definitely, definitely. And
right?
yeah, I think back to your story, right, is that you mentioned that you actually got pretty lucky in the past. I think you actually had pretty successful business prior to this one, and then you also lost your business. So, and I think that kind of like link back to why you actually venture into leadership coaching as well, right? So maybe you want to share a
Yes.
bit about what happened, you know, what business were you in, and how you actually transitioned into leadership, and what made you, you know, realize that, okay, so leadership coaching is something that, you know, maybe you need, and everyone around you need, and you take it as a career or a profession.
Okay, so let's say I started with a restaurant business. Then we started selling logistics for law enforcement and things like that, and also we had a dog training center.
So
Okay,
you
so
actually
we
run
trained
like
like,
three businesses at the same time.
well, that's what I thought. Okay, I don't think I
Okay.
was running it. I think it was running me. Right. So you know, it was fine, right? So we got lucky, and for the restaurant, you open in a place where everything was, how do you say, there was no competition, right? And as business started picking up, we were getting, like I said, we were getting lucky. People were coming, and then boom, across the street, someone opens another one, selling the same kind of food, right?
Okay.
And after that, maybe 3 months later, another one opens to the side of us on the next block. Okay, so now you start having competition. So what do? Right? So if you're a person who just is just hoping, like, oh, I'm sure it'll get better, you know, I think our food, you might go to the other place and try it, right? See if they're good or not, right? And then, but the thing is that, you know, when it comes down to food, right, it can be very um,
Reference
subjective,
base.
right? For different people, right? Everybody has different tastes. So what is it that you have to do that can help to improve your opportunities to create that customer loyalty? And this is the thing I didn't learn.
Okay.
Right. So, you know, obviously then, you know, business started dwindling. And what happens is people start getting into a price war, right? You either start giving more food or you start cutting down on the price. And that never benefits anybody.
Yep.
Okay. So eventually everybody goes out of business. Okay. You may satisfy the customers ability to save a little bit more, right? And they're probably very happy about your price war. But the thing is, once you go down, the other guy goes, and then they have no food to eat at all. And then have to go somewhere further away, right? So those are things that, you know, I realized that, you know, I look back and I say, oh, you know, this could have been prevented, right?
How would you do it
And
differently, like if you were given another chance?
that's a good point. So what I would do differently is to create a more personal bond with my clients, with my customers, right?
Okay.
I would do things, okay, or have the team do things a little bit differently than the other people,
Yeah.
right? To make their patronage more memorable,
Like
right?
adding more
So
value, giving like a personal touch to
for
them.
sure. And that could mean you give a little bit more food, but in the long run, that doesn't work, right? So, you know, sometimes, like, you know, people value consistency. They value things like, you know, being polite. They value cleanliness, right? You know, they value that your prices are always you say what they are, and it doesn't change, right? And the quality of your product, it's consistent. So, some people may think like, okay, yeah, my food is so good, and they start a business because they think their food is good, and then they will start a business and boom, I mean, how come nobody's coming? But my food is so good, right? So yeah, so especially nowadays where people's attention spans are a lot shorter. There's so much advertising, and of course, you're in digital marketing, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of noise going on, and so we need to be able to keep on top of it.
Definitely. Wow. And so that business actually went down because of price war and all that. And so did you actually went straight into
No,
leadership coach?
see, sorry, Roger, I cannot say because of the price war. I can say that it was my fault because I dropped the ball. So yeah, eventually you have to, in business also, you have to realize when is it time to, when if you knew, when to cut your losses, right? If you don't know, you just wait till you run out of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Wow. Okay. That is definitely something that I didn't know about you. Interesting. So that was actually back in the States. All right, great. Okay, so after the business, what made you realize that you needed to maybe, what made you venture into personal development or even leadership coaching?
Well, after that, then I had several different mentors that really helped me to pave the way. Okay. So, I had people who mentor me about the corporate world. I had, a mentor to teach me about, being an entrepreneur, looking for the side hustles, right? Things and looking for opportunities. So I realized, and also I had a mentor to teach you about leadership. Okay. So, but then obviously, as you're trying to tell people, which doesn't work, right, what they should do, I got into coaching, right? So I thought that by coaching, we'll be able to connect with people better, right? To help them to look within themselves and to find out, what they need to succeed.
Okay, and that's quite interesting because on the concept of mentor. So, do you actually stumble upon this mentor, or he actually came to you, and how did the relationship happen?
All right. I think this is probably very fair to say. There's a saying says, "When the student is ready, the teacher will appear." Okay. I think when we are there and we are very open to other people's suggestions, they are more liable to be helpful. Right? If you're honestly, sincerely willing to learn, and people can sense that you're not just full of it and you just want to, hang out and party and chill out and get drunk and whatnot. I think people can sense that, and when you're sincere enough, then people really, they're willing to help you, right? And they're willing to help you answer the questions that you have, and I think that's where, and of course, through that, you kind of build a relationship, right? Where you can say, okay, now, does that mean that all mentors are right? No, that doesn't mean that. Okay. In fact, sometimes mentoring and coaching are two different ball games. Okay. When you talk about mentoring, it's like mentors share their experience with you, but that doesn't mean that experience is going to work for you. Right. So, and that's where coaching would come in. And instead of just saying, okay, you should try doing this, you say, well, what do you think you should be trying? What do you think would work for you? Would it be better if you were dressed in a suit, or is it more like you to be dressed in a polo, right? Or is it, are you just casual with a t-shirt and like Steve Jobs was, right? So everybody has their own personality that they can bring to their careers.
Yep.
Right? And maybe they have their own way of talking. Some mentors can be very honest, right? Brutally honest, right?
That's
And
a good
but that
mentor.
may not be you. Sorry.
Yep. That's a good mentor.
Well, if you can take it, then he's a good mentor, right? But
Yeah.
if you're a person that's very timid and sensitive, maybe it might not be a good fit.
Okay, cool. Means that after that you actually have got some corporate mentorship, corporate experience, and then do you actually venture into corporate, or you just
Yes,
reach out?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've done corporate for .com companies, for the British Isles, British consulate,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, for other SMEs in China.
Okay.
You know, some of them were customer support. Some, basically, so there were little things that we did training for them, and we did group coaching for them, which is very, very successful. I really like group coaching.
Mm, okay. So and you mentioned about China, means that is that how you actually ended up in China, setting up your own business, your tuition business, right?
Well, don't forget, all right. After when I went back, it was basically still um, healing from my failures.
Okay.
Okay, so still I haven't made any serious changes yet. So we got into another business, and as usual, it failed, right? You see, and it took a couple of failures, right, to start to realize that we can't go on like this. I
Mm,
can't go on like this, right? So, people may tell you, but if you're not ready, you're not going to make the change.
yep.
So I believe that by using coaching method, we can help people to accept the change, to realize the change, find out their what's holding them back, what are their weaknesses and what are their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Because even as a business person, right, we don't know everything. We can't do it all, even if we did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how long was your recovery for your failures and all that? And how old were you that time?
Okay, so I don't know exactly, because truthfully I don't celebrate birthdays. I don't think a birthday is a very important thing for me,
Yeah.
right? Some people feel they do, and I will do it for other people. So I will only give you approximates, okay? So maybe about my failure started when I was in my 30s, 30 something, 30, and then I didn't realize until maybe 4 or 5 years later.
Okay.
All
And
right, 4 or 5 years later, I had to make a change.
okay.
Okay, and then yeah, so that's when I started, trying to understand more about me.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So after a failure means that you know that you have already hit like a lot of roadblocks that you cannot go further on with whatever that you're doing, and you actually had mentors to actually guide you and make you realize that you need help as well as to break through. Um, I think it actually happens to a lot of people as well. I mean, even for me personally, sometimes if if we do not learn certain lessons, the lesson will keep on coming back, revisiting until it gives like a tight slap on the face and tell, hey, this is the lesson that I've been wanting you to learn for the past
Yes.
5 years. Can you just wake up and see, like, wow, that's really interesting. And I see that even a lot of successful people actually have that moment in their life. Yeah,
Yes.
and coming from you, wow, that's really inspiring. And okay, so after that, so what made you venture into like a tuition business in China? So that is
Oh, what?
you have a tuition center
Right.
in China, right? So
Yes.
how do you ended up there?
Well, while I was healing for those 5 years, right, I had to take up jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so going through jobs, you pick up things, you learn more things, and using that, I saw a solution to a problem.
Okay.
Okay, so we just took that solution, and we applied it. It started very small, just like any business. You can't expect it. Anything that comes easy won't last, right? So we started very small. We started with a few close friends, and it just grew.
Wow.
And we did not advertise. We did not, because I think we answered a serious problem. Okay, and I think there were a lot of people looking for solutions, but there wasn't any available.
Mm, okay. And so that business, how long were you in that business? I mean, up to this point.
Oh, at least about 10 years now. About 10 years now.
And then,
Yeah, about
but you are
10 or maybe
no
12.
Wow, that's a pretty stable business.
I
And
mean, from the beginning, right? From infancy, right? From infancy. Yeah.
and how involved were you in the business? I mean, I know that you don't even need to like look at the business right now.
Well, in the beginning, you're very much hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, or else I will wind up making the same mistake I did before,
Mm.
right? So you need to know your business, and then from there, see where it needs to be tweaked, and constantly review. Okay, what could I have done better? What can be done better? What are we hearing from our customers, right? And things like that. So we got to a point where parents will use our situation, our tuition, as a punishment if they weren't good. Okay, so we knew that we were good when the parents said, "We don't know what you guys do, but our kids love coming there." Okay, and not only are they learning, but they love it there, right? So when sometimes children will relate, we would call them and say, "Hey, your child's not here yet. Is everything okay? Is he coming?" "Yeah, sorry, he was naughty. So because he's naughty, we're gonna punish him and not let him come yet." Wow. Okay, so that was something new, and that kind of encouraged us to say, like, okay, so what we're doing is right. We're
Okay.
on the right track.
So,
You know. Mhm.
I think based on your previous experience, the way you view business is like totally different already. Um, right now, like previously, you don't really look into like the personal touch, but this time around, you actually have more personal touch. That's why you're growing organically. That's why a lot of
Yeah.
parents are actually reaching out to you.
I mean, we were actually, telling people if this is not what they want, we tell them what we do and say, listen, we would even say like, if this is not what you're looking for somebody with a PhD, what I mean, a teacher's master's and things like that, and blah blah blah. This is not for you. Okay,
Okay.
so we were almost turning people away, and so we attracted people because we actually explained to them why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was very important that our customers realized that, and they felt our passion, and they trusted us.
Okay. So for your center, you actually teach English to the Chinese, right? To people in China. Are there any
Yes, we,
competition?
we do online also. So there's people from other countries. So
Okay. And are there any competitors in your space? I mean, like in
too many.
too many. And so the next question is like, how do you actually differentiate yourself with your competitors?
Well, that's the thing. So far, what we right now, so far, thank goodness, they're following us.
Mm.
Okay, but because they have much more money, right? They advertise a lot more. We
Mm.
don't really advertise. Okay,
Mm.
so that's something new. So again, we have to be able to customize a lot of things to provide better value, and
Mm.
I have a feeling people are going to be following that soon. Now, I'm just hoping that they run out of money. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, especially during the COVID, a lot of people went bankrupt. A lot of small companies went bankrupt. So
Mhm.
we were the maybe the few, and then you have these very large companies that have lots of resources, and so they're still hanging on.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. 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 And okay, so how many employees do you have actually running your whole business? I know that your wife is actually actively involved in the business, but apart from
Yes.
that, how many people are you like managing?
Well, we have but probably like on hand right away. It's maybe about 8 people.
8 people. And
Yeah.
what are the certain qualities that you look for in hiring these people?
Well, right now, because I'm here, I cannot do the hiring myself. But when we do have to hire certain advisors or consultants, we like to make sure that they know how to work with children.
Yeah, I think
You know,
that's very important.
right.
And just now you mentioned that, the why of the company. What would you say is the why of your company, and why the company exists? What actually drive the company?
Well, we truly believe that learning the basic of the language will definitely outperform learning about specific subjects.
Mm,
Okay, because once you get the foundation of the language, everything else you read or you see or you hear, you can automatically translate that into what it's trying to say, right?
mm,
So that's education in itself. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. So
mm.
if you learn the basics of it, right, you understand the spelling, the grammar, and things like that. Wherever you go, it's gonna work for you, right? So it's like if you know how to cook, it doesn't matter where you go, right? You know how to cook, right?
Yeah.
If English is probably one of the top languages that people communicate with today,
Mhm.
and probably Chinese would be the second one,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so they already have that language down packed. So now they just need the other ones,
Mm.
right, to really help them to be able to achieve more in their lives.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And yeah, I think I actually have got a few more questions. And so, okay, so one of the question I already asked you, or maybe I can actually ask you again, like, what do you do differently that attribute to your success today, either in your business for your center, or personal coaching?
What do I do?
Yeah. So what do you do actually differently, or what are some of the attributes that lead you to, where you are today, to your success?
I would say that I have to be number one would be open to feedback,
Open to feedback.
and number two, constantly learning.
Wow, that's very, very good point. And yeah, I
So we
definitely can see that in you, that you're always learning, you're always one thing I realize is that you're always giving value, rather than asking first. That was actually the first impression that I actually got from you.
no, thank you. I'm glad about that. Thank you for saying that.
Okay, okay. I think we are at the end of it. If you have actually one piece of advice, right, for someone who is starting out, or even someone who is actually going through a tough time during this COVID season, what will be your advice to them? Maybe I should break them into two categories. One is business was struggling. The other one is someone who is actually just starting out into the business world, or you know.
But those are really good questions. And can I mention this about a program that we're doing,
Yeah,
Raj? Is that
definitely.
okay?
Yep.
So we have a program that's every Tuesday, and we actually hire experts from around the world to explain more about tips and advice from professionals, experts in their fields regarding starting up or running a business, an existing business, especially during this time. And and that's on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Malaysian time. Okay, it's called Ask the Experts. And last Tuesday, we had a speaker from a global financial solution HR person.
Mm.
So she was very familiar with. She's been in the business for in her field for almost I believe it was like almost like 20 years. From Global Pay, World Pay, which is a very big financial solutions company, and into another one, which they're all global. And it was, she shared a lot of insights about hiring people, firing people, what leaders need to do to make sure their people are adhering to the business goal. Okay, and what I think, and that was very important for a lot of people, and that's on every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. It's a
Mm.
nine part series. Now, what I would suggest is that people, you know, if they're already in a business, they really, really, really have to be open and get some when people tell them, wow, you know, your stuff is this or that, or you know what I mean, or maybe like oh, you know, your staff is so mean, you know what I mean, like it's like when I come here to eat, I feel like I'm trying to put out a fire. Okay, so you know, we have to listen to people. Sometimes we have to listen to the market, we have to listen to the customer, and we also have to learn how to be able to adapt.
Mm.
Okay, you know, if our position is not in the right position in our business, you know, are we able to move? Are we able to adapt? Is online? Are we learning about online? Are we learning about social media to improve our presence?
So it means that a lot of
Right?
business owners are stuck because they are not open to feedback and whatever that is actually happening in the market. That's why they are
Well, if we think about it, if they're stuck, why are they stuck? Right?
because there is something that they do not know, and perhaps they're not open to
Right?
feedback and all that.
Right. So you know they're stuck. That means they cannot move. Right?
Mhm.
So they have to understand why they cannot move. Right? They can blame it on the market. And we can say, hey, you know what I mean, the market doesn't like this kind of food, then change. Or they can blame it on their competition and say, well, yeah, I have other people. So how can you make your service, where can you add more value into your service or into your brand to
Mhm.
make yourself more attractive,
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
And you know, sometimes people, well, my food is good enough. They should be lucky they're eating my food, right? And or maybe like, well, I've been here for 15 years now, you know what I mean? I am, you know, I have a brand name, people know me, and you know, but you know what? You know, the guy across the street, he's fun, right? You know, he just opened up, but you know, he makes people laugh, you know, he jokes with people, he's really friendly with people. He doesn't have that kind of attitude like, you know, I was here first, I've been here, you know, you don't have that arrogant presence,
Stay humble.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And if people who want to start a business, ask yourself, if you're starting a business because you have a solution to a problem,
Mhm.
or you have a great idea, or do you just need it for a salary?
That's
Well, you know, a lot of people during these times, they have to maybe set up a mama stand or whatever, you know, just to be able to support their family, and you know, they should be praised for that, right? You know, they're doing what they're doing the responsible thing, but at the same time, can they grow it? Of course they can, right? Although it may be temporary for a salary, but you know what? If you know why you're doing it, besides the money part, the money is just the
byproduct.
byproduct. Right, right. It's just a result of something. But if you know exactly why you're doing it, you say, well, yeah, I provide good, healthy, wholesome food without any preservatives, okay, and at a very, very affordable price, right? So, you know, and you know, the other guy may say that he's doing the same thing, but then when you serve the people, you say, hey, how are you? You know, I hope are you okay? You know what I mean? How's everything? Yeah, times are tough. You know, there's things that we can do to help people feel more human,
Mm.
more appreciated, to
Mm.
have consistency in times of chaos, right? You know, so you know, like maybe one day they come to you and then you're very happy, and tomorrow you're grumpy. You know, like, hey, what happened, right? And they told me, oh my goodness, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Did I offend the auntie or the uncle or something, right? So we have to be able to constantly monitor our attitude, our presence when we, you know, we're dealing with our customers,
That's yeah, that's very important. That's very good point.
right?
Yep. Okay. So back to the session that you have on every Tuesday. Where can they actually get more information on this?
If you go to Facebook on Coach D, on my
Okay.
Facebook, we usually promote it there as an event. Also on the LinkedIn,
Okay.
Dihan. Okay, it's I posted there too. It's called it's actually very easy. It's Ask the Expert.
Ask the expert.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So last week we had an HR CFO, CPO, they call it Chief People's Officer, and next week we have our very own Michael Thiel. He's a inspirational speaker. He empowers millennials, and he's a really interesting individual, very passionate about helping millennials, whether they're doing the business, whether they're starting career. Yeah, he's going to be fun to see.
Interesting. I'll include the link on I'll include a link on the description on this video. And
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. So I think we're done for now. Are there any last words that you want to bring out to the audience? Any last piece of advice?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just remember, whatever you plan to do, whether it's losing weight, New Year's resolutions, or starting a business, or in your existing business, remember that it's not time management that we have to be concerned about. It's actually focus management.
Focus management.
Okay. Right. So we want to be able to focus on the right things at the right time. Okay. So, we don't want to, being busy doesn't mean you're being productive. Right. And in fact, by doing that, that's how you build more stress. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you're working properly and you're focusing on the right things and you're doing it at the right times, then it becomes fun. It's a lot smoother and it doesn't get chaotic.
Wow, that's really good advice. I think we're done. Thank you so much for your time, Dee. I really appreciate that. For all the audience out there, if you like content like this, just comment below. Type in the chat, and then if you have any questions to ask Dee or even myself, we can actually do something similar to address like different angles and different approaches when it comes to business or even leadership and coaching. And once again, thank you so much for your time, Dee.
Thanks for having me, Rogers.
Yeah. So till then, we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Great. I'm looking forward to